I sit here all heady and tingly over my head, following the experience that opened in the usual way and used Suar 97 to 114 in the trance-inducing portion. Initially, there were horizontal streaks of gray and purple, and vertical streaks, not consistently, but occasionally, like shooting stars, of violet and pink. And during the reading, with in between the little sparklies of yellow became shining throughout the room. At one time, there was a pink light that shone from the mirror to the door. At another time, I followed along in the initial chapters with a sound that I was hearing. It was like there was a soundtrack to my reading, and it wasn't a familiar song or a familiar set of songs or anything like that. It seemed to very much go along, but certain parts of the reading I said part of the formulas which were being said in the book. And for the last chapter or two, everything went silent. But I did feel some euphoria coming down me, removing the pain and stiffness of a rather difficult day in terms of, some work that was done, and stillness despite movement when it came to the pentagram rite. So today's portion is the first 5 chapters. And in these initial chapters, I notice some things. First of all, it very heavily promotes the Golden Dawn system, but it promotes it in a way that says, well, there were some changes that they encountered in the system, some inconsistencies and some gaps in instruction that needed to be used. Enochian magic is one of those things where it's not like there's supposed to be a personal entity for each aspect of what's going on or any of that stuff. That it's, such and such entity is referenced by such and such thing. John Dee didn't always follow the exact instructions of, how to make the tools. And why was that the case? I mean, some people find things easier. John Dee thought his operations were less inappropriate or whatever. And one thing that seems to come through is that Enochian was treated as something, not the main thing, not the required thing for those who use it. The Christian would perhaps maybe not do things on a Sunday. Mondays and Thursdays, or I'm not limiting that to the Christian way, but the Mondays and Thursdays are the best days of the week to fast usually. And so a person, Monday being the Enochian Sabbath makes sense. And certain holidays, some things may not be done on those holidays. So, like in the Islamic way, maybe Ramadan would be the month to leave off Enochian operations. And for each of the holidays, the holiday ending Ramadan, so the initial of the 10th month and the 10th through 13th of the 12th month, they wouldn't do that either. It is important to try to make and use different aspects of the Enochian system. Now, you don't necessarily have to do everything at once, and you definitely don't have to live all the luxury of some things. You can make things out of paper, and some people like the $20 board game sort of approach, although those things tend to cost more if you're having a magical set built or something like that, or you know what I mean, like, even if it's like a set box, it's like, they all cost more than that because it's for religion, right? So, it seems like they charge more than a typical board game, but it's best, even if your material isn't so good or it doesn't look as pretty as you would like, it's best to work out your own stuff. And one of the things about the Enochian system is the focus on prayer, and that how what you're praying to transcends such things as ideal timing.